PK52, the Saturday morning meeting. Hey, the second phase of the digital series that we're doing right now. If you didn't watch last week, I got on a rant, got on a roll. I really wish you'd go back one step and watch last week. We started talking about the industry, the way the industry's going, how to promote yourself. So today what I want to focus on is the promotion of you and not the product. Let me repeat, and you know about me, I'll repeat stuff all the time, but let me repeat this. Are you at the level of your walk around that you are the best in the country? That if somebody hears you do a walk around on a brand new 2018 Camry, they're going to say yes immediately. I mean, halfway through your walk around, head's going to go down, eyes are going to close. They go, that's all I wanted to hear. I'll pay any price for you. Or is the market so competitive and the information so prevalent out there that the real difference between buying a car is not the walk around or the demo drive, it's the relationship that you build with the customer at point of sale. That's a decision you have to make. Because since I started the car business in the 1980s, they've told me about the road to the sale. Basically, the road to the sale says, pull the car from the inventory, do a walk around, 7 position, all 7, take a demo drive, and then stall the customer as long as you possibly can. Keep them in the dealership 4, 5, 6, 7 hours, 4 days, without food, starve them, dehydrate them, until they finally give in to buying a car. That can't be correct anymore. There are still trainers out there that are training this. Basically what they say is never answer a direct question. If a customer asks you a question, don't answer the question. Always defer it to a bunch of other questions and everything until the customer finally forgets what question they ask. I'm not on the fence on this one. If somebody asks you a question, you really need to be able to answer the question. Because they can sit there on their phone, go to the website of your dealership, and find the car they're asking you the question about. There'll be an auto calculator, lease and retail calculator. There'll be a selling price on that car on your site, not on the Toyota site, on your site. They can get a payment, they can get an active interest rate, they can get pre-approved on the phone sitting right across from you while you're telling them that you can't answer that question. So I am not on the fence. Make no bones about it. Look at this, not on the fence. I started years ago. My first manager told me, he said, never quote payment. Well, what do you do when a customer says, listen, I'm ready to buy the car, how much is my payment? Don't worry about your payment. If I couldn't get you a payment to where you're most comfortable, then I wouldn't expect you to take delivery of the car. Well, I'm never going to say that last line, I don't expect you to take delivery of the car. No, you came all the way down to my dealership. I really expect you to take delivery of the car or you wouldn't have come. So if payment's the issue, payment's the issue. If I don't understand interest rates and how they apply to my payment, that's an issue. If I don't understand why Ford will discount a car before I show up $12,000 and you're looking at me and saying, I'll take $500 off the Tacoma. Why would I understand that? I just watched the Ford ad. They're saying, here's a Ford truck and we'll take $12,000 off before you show up and we'll give you more when you arrive. Come on down. How much can I get off the Tacoma? Will 500 do it? How am I supposed to process that? You advertise a car online or you advertise a car in the medium that you choose to advertise at your dealership for $199 a month. I get to the dealership and my first payment quote that comes off the desk is $349 a month. Just letting you know that $199 and $349 are a long way apart. Like if you take $199 times 2, that could get 2 $199s for about the $349. That doesn't sound like a good deal. So where are we? Have we not changed at all in the last 30 years? That's the question right now. Cars can be bought in any dealership. We are not making a statement at Toyota that you need to drive every Camry because each Camry is going to drive completely different. We're a manufacturer where if you drive a 2018 Camry in one dealership, it's going to drive exactly like a 2008 Camry in every dealership because that's our brand. We've also got to the point right now where the market is so saturated and so powerful about selling volume that the grosses or the profitability of cars has gone down. I don't have a problem telling the customer right now. We're not in a profit zone in 2018, 2017 because the volume sales for all manufacturers are forcing a buyer's market. This is the best time ever. Customer comes in and they look at you and go, How much below invoice? You got this advertised at this price. How much lower will you go? And you're thinking, wow, if I could have actually lowered the price on my advertising, there'd be a lot more of you guys already in the dealership buying cars from me. This is really a market adjusted price, and it's a super fair price at this price point. Then 3 years later, let me get dramatic here for a second. They come back in to trade that same car that they wanted to buy at $1,500 back at dealer cost, and you give them a number on the appraisal and they go bananas. Oh, you're not giving me enough for my trade. I go, well, you bought it at $1,500 back at invoice. Why should I pay you $1,500 over market value for the car now? When did the car get that expensive? When did the car, after they took delivery and put 45,000 miles on it, now the car is worth $1,500 above market price? So we got to think about what we're doing in the car business. They're going to buy a car, or they wouldn't be looking. They're going to buy a car from the salesperson that they feel the most comfortable with. So let's go right back into digital. Just like I said last week, send a video out. Our problem with the market right now is, what do I use to develop my video? I'm going to give you my opinion, and then I'm going to set an expert in front of you, and he's going to tell you what his research has told you about what you should be using. I don't think you should use an app. I don't think you should use YouTube Capture or YouTube Director Cut or the Windows Movie Maker on your computer. I think you should find out what they're looking for, walk outside, take a simple video on your phone and say, just before you make the trip down here, I wanted to show you the car and how excited I am to be able to show you the car in the next couple of days. Because what you're selling there is not a produced, edited, music-laden, Toyota commercial thing. You've come out there and you said, I'm willing to work harder than anybody you've ever dealt with before. Here's my proof. I've called you by name. This is the car you're looking at. I'm super stoked. Come buy the car. For the majority of you out there right now, that changes your income. Question I'd ask for you. The old school training, the road to the sale, wants to lob a salesperson somewhere between 10 to 15 cars a month, a few extra cars a month on thrust months like the summer months where we have more traffic. But looking at the gross profit of cars right now and how many people are buying in the saturation of the market, can you live on 12? Is 12 going to get your kids the best college you want to send them to? Is 12 going to put you in the house you'd like to live at? We spend so much time at a dealership working our tails off, working more hours than anybody else you know, any of your friends, people that you go to church with, people you socialize with. You work more hours than anybody, and then you start comparing your income to other people that work a 40-hour work week, and you're going like, wait a minute. This isn't fair to me. So what you want to do is you want to grab your career and launch your career. The most important thing to sell every single day is you. If you were the greatest walk-around presenter at point of sale, the greatest demo driver, and the greatest series of trial closer person on the earth, then you can do it with fresh ups. But if that customer comes in and they're comfortable with you because they've seen you live and they know who you are, they're more apt to buy a car from you. Toyota just launched a national walk-around championship. I've mentioned it a couple of times. What an easy thing to produce a very short video on a walk-around on a Toyota product, send it to Toyota, be the best that they ever have, win the national walk-around championship, $5,000 in cash, and an all-expense paid trip to the Daytona 500 in Daytona, Florida. Why didn't you enter? Why didn't you win? If you're the greatest walk-around person on earth, it should have taken you about 5 seconds to put that money in your pocket. Today, what we want to do is we want to make you famous. I'm going to introduce you to Mr. Brett Wilder. When I do green screen, when I've got graphics flying in behind me, this is a guy in the background that does all this stuff. He does all the research, and I think what you'll hear from him, I'm not going to steal his thunder, but I think you'll hear from him is simple means I'll do it. If it's too complex, it's not worth my time. Make your job easier. Turning it over to Mr. Brett Wilder.
What's up, guys? Brett Wilder here, National Director of Video for PK52. Just got a few things to tell you about what we talked about last week and then what Casey mentioned this week, simple is better, always. Short is also great. You're not going to have customers sitting there watching a 5-minute walk around video, I'm sorry. So whether you need to make a script or whether it's going off the email or the phone call that you receive from the client, answer those questions and be done with it. Now, Casey said that he doesn't, think the apps and everything are that great. YouTube Capture is a very user-friendly app. If it's something that you want to do right now on the go, boom, 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 I suggest using YouTube Capture. You can throw a quick little title on it. You can add music, which unless you're keeping it very low, I probably wouldn't do that. But it is definitely a user-friendly app and it's free. Play with it for a few minutes, you got it. You will need to create a YouTube account, but as soon as you create that YouTube account and you make your first video, you can upload that video straight from your phone to your YouTube account. You'll have the link there. You text that link to your customer, boom. Also, if you've got a little bit more time, if they've asked a lot of questions, if you feel like this customer needs a lot more information, if you're trying to drag them into the dealership for that appointment, take the video on your phone with just your regular camera. Video options, make sure it's in landscape, not portrait, and plug the phone into your computer. Every Windows PC has an app or a program called Windows Movie Maker. It's so simple to use. So 10 minutes tops and you can have a full video ready. It gives you the options to save it as a YouTube video or an email-able video so that the file is not too large to send in an email. Also, you can email that video to your phone and then send that video straight from your phone to your customer. It's really simple. That's all I got for you guys, and we'll turn it back over to Casey.
Finishing up this segment of digital, you heard from Brett. Simple to him, promise you is not simple to me. There's a lot of you out there that are just like me that are really digitally challenged. Everything I do digitally right now is forced. I have to learn it, play with it, and it doesn't click for me instantly. So I don't give up. I hire somebody else to do it. I don't know. What the message is. But you are so important to the dealership, and I don't want to get all teary-eyed here and get all emotional and everything. But cars are sold by salespeople. There's so many customers that are willing to leave a dealership and go to 4 other dealerships to look at cars. And the reality is they found a car in the very first dealership when they met you that'll suit their needs, that'll give them a great resale value, that'll be maintenance-free as a car can be. That's Toyota. How can we possibly let them leave? Once they buy into you, it's a car deal. Brett talked about YouTube Capture, and he's done some cool stuff with that. And when you put a link to somebody, they're going to open that link. What that tells these people is that your level of a salesperson is at the next level. You're not one of these people that are standing outside waiting not to answer any of their questions. You're somebody that's capable of doing every bit of the work before they come in. And the great thing about that is once they're ready to buy a car, once they arrive, then it's not a 4-hour ordeal. The #1 complaint from all customers nationwide via Toyota focus groups, and they do these focus groups all the time, is it takes too long to buy a car. That is every single year for the last half-decade. Customers are upset because you can't just go get a car. Well, you can create that. You are amazing. You're the greatest salespeople that Toyota's ever had before. The biggest problem I have with the majority of you is in your market where there's thousands and thousands of buyers, they don't know how to find you. You just have to be lucky that they show up at a dealership and you are the one that walks out to them and greets them at the dealership. When they could have gone online looking for 2018 Camry, and then 2018 Camry pops up, there's some information, second pop-up, organic, is you. And they click on that. I'm so glad you're asking me about the 2018 Camry. Let me tell you why this car is revolutionary. The product presentation you're going to do once they got there is online, and thousands, millions could view it. Be that salesperson. Change everything you're doing right now to expedite that customer to take a delivery. Because the bigger you make it, the bigger it is. PK52, the Saturday morning meeting.